Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff Field Marshal COAS Munir has emphasized the immense potential for a broader, multidimensional relationship built upon mutual respect with the United States. According to the Inter-Services Public Relations, COAS Munir is on a 5-day official visit to the U.S., where he met with President Donald Trump over a luncheon, marking the first time a sitting Army chief has met a sitting U.S. president face-to-face. He is accompanied by National Security Advisor Lieutenant Gen Mohammed Asim Malik, who also serves as Pakistan's intelligence chief. During his visit to Washington, D.C., Field Marshal Munir engaged in an interaction with prominent U.S. think tanks and representatives from strategic affairs institutions. The exchange also included senior scholars, analysts, policy experts, and representatives of leading international media outlets. The Army chief highlighted the immense potential for a broad relationship between Pakistan and the U.S. rooted in mutual respect, shared strategic interests, and economic interdependence. He discussed the historical convergences between the two countries, especially in counterterrorism, regional security, and economic development. Field Marshal Munir reiterated Pakistan's unwavering commitment to regional peace and stability, and its constructive role in promoting a rules-based international order. He also mentioned the malign influence of certain regional actors that, according to him, sponsor terrorism as a tool of hybrid warfare. This point was made while he elaborated on the details and analysis of Operation Mark-i-Haq and Operation Bunyanam Marsuz during Pakistan's recent conflict with India. He reminded participants that Pakistan has been on the front lines of the global war on terror and has made immense sacrifices, both human and economic. According to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, Pakistan has lost 90,000 lives and suffered $150 billion in economic losses over the decades. COAS Munir invited international partners to explore collaborative opportunities in various sectors, citing Pakistan's untapped potential in IT, agriculture, and its underexploited mining and mineral resources. He presented Pakistan's balanced approach to regional and global conflicts, advocating for dialogue, diplomacy, and adherence to international law. He reaffirmed Pakistan's responsible and proactive role in reducing regional tensions and promoting cooperative security frameworks. Participants appreciated the openness and clarity of the COAS's perspective and Pakistan's consistent and principled policies. The interaction was seen as a positive step toward enhancing strategic dialogue between Pakistan and the U.S. Meanwhile, Pakistan's national hockey team has reached the final of the FIH Hockey Nations Cup in Kuala Lumpur. The team defeated France in the semi-final on Friday with a 3-2 victory in a penalty shootout after the match ended 3-3 in regulation time. Afraz Hakim, Sufyan Khan, and Mohammad Hamiduddin scored for Pakistan. Rana Wahid Ashraf was named man of the match. The final will be played on Saturday. Meanwhile, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Mansehra district, 3 tourists from Lahore tragically died after being buried under a glacial slide near Soni waterfall in Naran. The victims were identified as Muhammad Tahir, Muhammad Tayyab, and Abu Bakar. KP Tourism Advisor 𝐒𝐭𝐲𝐬 extended condolences and urged caution around glaciers, warning they are melting rapidly due to hot weather. In Gaza, the Civil Defense Agency reported that at least 60 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces, with over half of the fatalities occurring near aid distribution areas. Civil Defense spokesperson Mahmoud Basal stated that 5 individuals were killed while waiting for aid in the southern Gaza Strip. Additionally, 26 more people lost their lives near the Netzarim corridor, a central strip of land in Gaza currently under Israeli control. Basal added that 31 of the victims were aid seekers. In the United Kingdom, Defense Minister John Healey confirmed that he has ordered a security review following a protest at a Royal Air Force base. According to Healey, pro-Palestinian activists broke into the RAF Brize Norton base and damaged 2 military aircraft. In a statement posted on social media, Healey described the incident as unacceptable and said he was really disturbed that it occurred. He also noted that a wider security review of all bases had been ordered in response. Healey further stated that such protests do not contribute to supporting Gaza or advancing peace and stability in the Middle East. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also addressed the incident, calling the protest at the military base disgraceful. Starmer stated that the act of vandalism at RAF Brize Norton was unacceptable, emphasizing that the armed forces represent the best of Britain and put their lives on the line every day. He said it is the responsibility of the public to support those who defend the country. In the United States, Congressman Max Miller from Ohio reported an incident that he described as anti-Semitic. According to Miller, he and his family were run off the road in Rocky River by a driver displaying a Palestinian flag. He stated that he had filed a police report regarding the event. Miller, who is Jewish and has publicly supported Israel, said he and his family were threatened during the incident. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi addressed the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, where he stated that Israel's recent attack occurred during an ongoing diplomatic process. According to Araghchi, Iran was scheduled to meet with the United States on June 15 to work on a potential agreement concerning Iran's nuclear program. He said the attack disrupted those efforts and described it as a violation of diplomacy, international law, and the UN system. Araghchi claimed that the operations targeted off-duty military personnel, university professors, and civilians, and referred to it as an unjust war imposed on the Iranian people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before this august body to remind you of the legal and ethical responsibility each and every state member and observer of the Human Rights Council has to stand up against this grave injustice. Israel has launched an unprovoked aggression on Iran in stark violation of Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the Charter, and in bold defiance of all the principles and rules that this Council stands for. This is an unjust war imposed on my people since early hours of Friday 13 June, when Israel perpetrated a mix of unlawful and criminal operations against off-duty military personnel, university professors, and ordinary people. Hundreds of my fellow Iranians have been killed and injured following Israel's surprise armed attacks and terrorist operations on residential areas, public infrastructures, hospitals, health centers, and of course, the foreign ministry. Our peaceful nuclear facilities have also been targeted, despite they being under full monitoring of IAEA, and despite the fact that attacking such facilities are absolutely banned under international law.
The Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, addressed the UN Security Council and stated that several countries in the region had contacted him with concerns over the situation. He warned that a direct hit on Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant could result in a significant release of radioactivity. Grossi noted that, as of his statement, no radiation had been detected. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, commented on the diplomatic efforts surrounding Iran's nuclear program. He stated that Israel expects concrete actions rather than another round of talks. Danon said that Israel has seen decades of diplomatic dialogue without effective results, and that the country is looking for efforts that would dismantle Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Iran doesn't just want to destroy Israel. It wants to remake the world order. One missile, one terror proxy, one destroyed hospital at a time. So no, we do not apologize for defending ourselves. We do not apologize for striking Iran's nuclear facilities. We do not apologize for neutralizing the threat. Because while some here raise their voices when Israel strikes a ballistic missile site, they fall silent when Iran strikes a surgical wind. Some condemn us for destroying a drone factory, but say nothing when Iran hits a residential building. That is not balance. That is moral collapse. We are doing what this council should have done long ago. We are acting where the international community hesitated. We are stopping a threat that endangered the entire world. Though our homes, our families, and our children are under threat, we will not stop. Not until Iran's nuclear threat is dismantled. Not until its war machine is disarmed. Not until our people and yours are safe. This is not just Israel's fight. It is the world's fight, and if no one else will fight it, we will. Thank you, Madam President.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres addressed the Iran-Israel conflict by urging all involved parties and the Security Council to give peace a chance. He delivered this message amid reports that the United States is considering military intervention in support of Israel.
The confrontation between Israel and Iran is escalating rapidly with a terrible toll, killing and injuring civilians, devastating homes, neighborhoods, and civilian infrastructure, and attacking nuclear facilities. The world is watching with growing alarm. We are not drifting toward crisis. We are racing toward it. We are not witnessing isolated incidents. We are on course to potential chaos. The expansion of this conflict could ignite a fire that no one can control. We must not let that happen. Excellencies, it may be easy to list a range of problems that have impacted relations between Israel and Iran in the last decades. But the central question of this conflict is the nuclear question. Non-proliferation is a must for the safety and security of us all. The Non-Proliferation Treaty is a cornerstone of international security. Iran must respect it. And Iran has repeatedly stated that it is not seeking nuclear weapons. But let's recognize there is a trust gap. The only way to bridge that gap is through diplomacy to establish a credible, comprehensible, and verifiable solution, including full access to inspectors of the IAEA as the United Nations technical agency in this field. For all of that to be possible, I appeal for an end to the fighting and the return to serious negotiations. At this defining moment, I urge this Council to act with unity and urgency for dialogue. And I urge the international community to rally behind the sole path that can deliver lasting peace: diplomacy, grounded in international law, including the UN Charter.
In a separate development, the United States Treasury Department announced new sanctions related to Iran. The Office of Foreign Asset Control confirmed that sanctions were imposed on 28 individuals, companies, and vessels linked to Iran. Meanwhile, Araghchi called on the international community and UN mechanisms to take immediate action against Israel. He said that the global system designed to uphold human rights and dignity must now be used to respond to the situation. Araghchi stated that the current moment requires action to prevent further erosion of international law. He also said that all states and UN bodies should be alarmed and should act to stop the aggressor, end impunity, and hold those responsible for the attacks accountable. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan commented on the wider regional context of the Iran-Israel confrontation. He stated that the conflict, along with ongoing events in Gaza, is approaching a point of no return. Erdogan said the situation has the potential to create long-term consequences for the region, Europe, and Asia.
Kaplamış durumda. Bilhassa son 2 yıldır yüzümüzü nereye çevirsek bir yıkımla, bir dramla, yüreklerimizi sızlatan savaş ve insanlık suçlarıyla karşılaşıyoruz. Gazze'de 21 aydır modern zamanların en utanç verici barbarlıklarından biri yaşanıyor. Siyonist İsrail hükümeti tüm dünyanın gözleri önünde ahlaksız ve arsız bir şekilde sivilleri, kadın ve masum çocukları acımasızca katlediyor. %80'i enkaz haline gelen işgal altındaki topraklarda yasa dışı yerleşim ve işgal politikasını hiçbir kural, kaide, norm, ilke tanımadan günden güne yaygınlaştırıyor. Her türlü insani yardım girişine engel olmak suretiyle açlığı bir silah olarak kullanıyor. Gazze'de bir parça ekmek için, bir tas çorba almak için yemek kuyruğuna giren insanlar vahşi bir şekilde hedef alınıyor. Sivil yerleşim alanları, okullar, ibadethaneler, hastaneler bombalanıyor. Vurulan hastanelerde ilaç ve tıbbi ekipman eksikliği had safhaya erişti. Gazze'li kardeşlerimiz çoğu zaman anestezi imkanından yoksun bir şekilde ameliyat edilmeye çalışılıyor.